Alrighty, in this video I'm going to briefly cover pretty much the addition, which has been a giant pain in my butt, to the FPS plugin, and that is the new reloading system. So I've gone through, completely changed up how the rifle is kind of structured, as well as just kind of the basic ammo system. So now we still have, magazines, they're their own actors, and that allows you to do things like set different types of magazines to your rifle, as well as we have a chambering system now. And what I mean by that is whenever I load in, actually, I'll just show you real quick. Kind of hard to tell because there's a little bit of a lag spike as I'm loading in the other client. But as you can see, it goes through and it chambers around. Now, on top of that, we have it set up so it's dependent on the actual magazine. So currently, this orange magazine that's in the gun right here, it holds 5 rounds. And we have currently put a round in the chamber. So if I go through and I shoot this wall here, let me actually reload. We'll go to the 10 rounder, and then I have one more 5 rounder. So I've started out with a 5 round magazine. I put 1 round in the chamber, so I had 4 left in the magazine. Then I reloaded to another magazine that has 5 rounds in it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projectiles that were able to fire, and now I have an empty magazine. Then I can go ahead and reload, and it went ahead and put the 10 round magazine in it. If I reload again, I put the previous magazine in it, which only had 5, and we took 1 out, so we should only have 4. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I had the 1 in the chamber, which was right here, and then the remainder, which was all part of the magazine. And then, of course, I can reload one more time, put another round in it, and I have the remaining 10 rounds. Or in this case, this would be 9, because I had already put a round from this magazine into the chamber. So on top of that system, that allows me to do things like, well, reload. And I can reload in different manners. So currently, I have it set up. Let me hit play again. Where you can do just a normal reload. You'll put the magazine away into your rig and then put a new one in it. And you can just keep doing this all day and keep cycling through. Or if you want to, you can press Ctrl R. At least that's the keybinds that I have set for now. And you'll drop the magazine and put a new magazine in. And you can keep going until you pretty much have none left. As you see here, I can't reload anymore because I have no more magazines to reload to, so I can just empty this one out. And I'm now empty. You can do this on full magazines and empty magazines, and that changes your reload type. So currently, since I have a magazine in it, a round in the chamber, I'll just reload and I won't bother hitting the bolt release or anything like that because I don't need to. But if I empty this magazine out and do a normal reload, as you can see, I'll go through, play the reload animation that hits the bolt release, and you can even see the bolt locking back and slapping to the forward position. So I'll go through it that way. So let me go back to this magazine here. Sorry, didn't mean to reload again. Let me empty it out, and I will do a drop magazine. So I'll drop the magazine, put a new one in it, hit the bolt release, and I now have a round in the chamber. I reload again, and there, I was finally able to get... So there is a bug that just occurred, where as you can see, when I go through and reload like this normally, it even though the bolt was locked to the rear, it will go through and... it'll go through and perform the normal reload, so the bolt will slam home. And that's something I do want to fix, but I've spent about 3 days on this reload system doing it, I'd say probably 4 different ways, and I have finally come up with a method that's, one, reliable with listen servers and dedicated, so obviously everything's going to work on a dedicated server as well. And it has just been a tremendous pain in the butt. So that's the main thing I wanted to show off. As always, everything else is the same. I need to get a third-person mesh going. I have a little bit of a pull target issue there with the elbow, but again, since it's going to be a third-person mesh, it's not really a concern. I have gone through and set up additive animations. So I can aim... Oh yeah, another thing is the shoulder position. So currently, as you can see when I aim, the weapon goes off to the right side away from the camera, and that's set up for a third-person mesh. So when you see other clients aiming, instead of putting the gun right in the center of the camera, which would be right in the center of the chest of the mesh, which would look weird, it instead goes right to the shoulder where it's supposed to be, and soon this will be customizable. I just have to, or dependent on the weapon itself, I just have to set up a third-person mesh to really go through and kind of test with. And same thing goes, the gun does not go quite as far back on top of that. So that way you can customize a good position so where it sits, the stock sits right on the shoulder. So that way if you decide to, change out the stock, for example, you can do so and adjust the length that way. There's a couple other things. Yeah, reload animations. So they are now additive for reloading. So I can reload while aiming down sights and all that kind of stuff. And it all just works in sync like so. So you can see the reload animation here. Again, I'm not an animator, so it kind of looks crappy. But they all go through and do their job. This will eventually be set up. I need to make it so you can, it does it when it chambers around, but since that happens at the very beginning currently anyways, I'm not all that concerned about it. So that is pretty much everything in this system. Well, everything that's been updated since the previous announcement of this plugin. We have a new first-person mesh finally, so it's no longer, I'm just using that for the projectile sounds currently. So we now have actual arms instead of the mannequin, and these are currently rigged to the mannequin. So hopefully that'll allow me to easily do the third person kind of in the same fashion. I'm hoping to share the same animations and just do slight tweaks, but I don't know how well that's going to go. Again, I'm not an animator or an artist by any means, so all my stuff kind of sucks. Anyhow, that's going to be it for this video. I just kind of felt like showing it off, and I will see you in the next one.